Battling. Let's talk about that. The 3 hardest things when battling: emotional, mental, physical. You master these 3, you master battling. So the obvious question is, how? How do you master these 3 things? Well, I believe one of the best ways to learn and the best ways to be taught is through relatability, through stories, through learning how to listen to other people's stories. So all I'm gonna do is share my story and what I found helpful for me. So when I first started breaking, just showing up was the hardest part. I was so insecure. I was so nervous about just beginning to compete, just going into the dance floor and showcasing what I can do, what I'm made of, baby. And then as I got older, it switched. Why did it switch? Well, I got comfortable to a degree. Comfortable, right? And then as I got more comfortable, it became the aftermath. Now what? So I can compete. Great. I can maybe even win some battles. Great. But the perfectionism, that darn perfectionism, it'll get you. So me being as perfectionist as I was and still am, if I didn't perform the best of my abilities, even if I got through prelims, maybe I got close to winning, maybe I got second place, unless it was 100% perfect, it was never enough. Why? Emotional. So depending on how you were raised, you may have emotional trauma. I know I do. I have mental trauma, I have emotional trauma. And I think the more of us that can really come to terms with that, the faster we can really learn how to control that, learn how to process it, learn how to come to terms with it. And when you're performing, when you're competing, when you're doing everything on a high level, you're gonna have all these things come up. And this is where the mental connects with the emotional, which in turn becomes the physical. And when all those 3 come together in unison, you get mastery. And does that mean you're gonna be winning everything perfect? You can never lose a battle. Not quite. But what it does mean is that over time, you can learn to be in control of it. You can learn to abuse it to your advantage. You can learn to be in relationship with it. So it's not suddenly this thing that controls you, it's now you controlling it. So this was definitely a process that took me many, many years to figure out. Process that took a while, but over time, I found out the easiest solution was this. If you make your training the focus, then no matter how you do in the battle, you win. You can never lose, because the battle is simply a destination. But the journey, as we all have heard this quote, becomes the focus, not the destination. If your training becomes perfect, then no matter how you do in the battle, you won. Because let's say your goal was like, I need to get air flare, windmill, 3,000 billion different kind of creative moves by this time or this date at this battle. And you get that all. But now let's say you lose round 1 because the judges didn't like your stuff. Or you lose round 1 because the floor was slippery. Or you lose 1 round because of, you can't control because of, you can't control what if. But you know what you can control? Your training. You know what you can control? Your focus. You know what you can control? Every day, what you do. You can't control the judges. You can't control the floor. You can't control any of these things. These are all what we call variables. So the more that we focus on variables, the more that we're asking for depression, anxiety, insecurity. All of these things are going to come into play. And these all came into play for me. When I was growing up, if I didn't do well in a battle, depression. If I didn't do well in a battle, lack of confidence, lose motivation, beat myself up. All these things, waste of time. Does that mean that you should ignore these things? No. Does this mean that these are not real things? No. Does this mean that you shouldn't see a therapist or do this thing? You probably should. Should you get support about it? Yeah. Should you talk about it? 100%. But that's all talks for a different time. What I'm saying is that what I found to be the most easy, logical, fastest approach was focus on the training. Let your daily grind do the talking. Don't let the aftermath, don't let all that control you. Learn to be in control of your training. And then if your training is good enough, then no matter what happens in the battle, you win, baby. You are a winner. You know why? Because you got so much better by the time that battle came. That you already progressed so much. If you let the battles be milestones, let them be just focuses. They're just moments in time. You're like, I'm gonna get all this by then. And you get so much better by then that by the time the battle comes, whatever happens in the battle is a bonus. If you can train like that, if you can battle like that, if you can approach this lifestyle like that, you're gonna have nothing but success because you can't lose when you're improving. You can't lose when you're getting better because the game is your full career. The game is your longevity. The game is your life. If you're winning at life, how can you lose in a battle? You can't. Judges may say that you lost. You may have not won that competition, but you were a winner the day that you walked in that door because of your training, because of your focus, because of your grind, because of all of the hard work you put in to get to where you were that day. Let that be your focus. Let that be your motivation. Walk in that door already a winner and you cannot lose. Think of it like steps, okay? We're walking. I'm walking right now, okay? If my goal is to get over there, all I gotta do is I walk there, right? I use my legs, I walk there. Every day, you are in control of that. You can do that. You can walk there, you can walk here, you can walk over there. I can turn around, I can jump up and down. You know what I can't control? I can't control how hot this sun is. I can't control the color of this grass. I mean, I guess I could dye it, but that's apart from the point. I can't control this sky, right? I can't control who's walking here in this park right now. But you know what I can control? These legs, what I'm doing, the tone of my voice, the pitchness of my voice. I can control these things. Focus on what you can control. Don't focus on the what ifs, the variables. All you can do is let your training do the talking and let everything else simply be motivation for you getting there. Just get there, show up. If you show up and you progress, baby, you worked hard, you trained hard, and you mastered everything you wanted to master by the time you got there, you're a winner. The journey, not the destination. The journey, not the destination. It's an old quote. It's kind of corny. We've all heard it lots of times. But it holds up, baby. There's something to classics. There's a reason they're classic. This is why I love that mentality. If you approach it with that mentality, then you get to the battle, right? You got your air flare. You got your 4 billion moves. That was all achieved because you could control that. Now let's say you get past top 16. Great, doesn't matter. You get past top 4, great, doesn't matter. You lose round 1, great, doesn't matter because the goal was, what was that goal? The goal was get that air flare. Get those 3 billion moves by the time you get to that battle. And if you achieve that, the rest is just bonus. Now, let's say you don't do that, okay? Let's say your focus is on, if I don't get past top 16, I'm a failure. If I don't win this battle, I'm a failure. And let's say that doesn't happen. Then suddenly, what happens? You're a failure. Because you're focusing on the thing that you cannot control. You're focusing on the variable. When we focus on what we can control, no matter what, we win, right? So this was my workaround on that. Am I gonna say it's gonna work for you? Nope. I don't know you. I don't know where you're from. I don't know your lifestyle. I'm just sharing what worked for me and what I applied to help me with my insecurities, what helped me with my anxieties. Look at this tree, boy. Woo! What helped me with my depression around this stuff, what helped me with my perfectionism, is focusing on what I could control. And then, no matter what happened in the battle, it doesn't matter. It's just bonus. A lot of my students have been asking me these kind of questions over the last couple of years, and I just want to make a video to share this. And the one thing I'll leave you guys with is, if your training is good enough, your worst will be higher than other people's best. Your worst will be higher than other people's best. This is how sometimes you'll see some of the best breakers in the world win battles, even though they maybe did their worst. Let your training do the talking. Make your goal be up here, and then if everybody else is down here, even if you're worst just up here, still better than their best. Make your worst better than their best. Can't lose. This was your boy Magnus.Magneto. If you like this kind of video, comment below. Let me know what else you'd like me to vlog and kind of talk and walk around about. And I can get that to you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and smash the button for more videos. I will see you in the next one.